Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the State TA Day webinar. Please confirm that you can see my screen and that you can hear my voice, and we will get started. Have we heard from anyone, Emily?
Yes to both.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So we have a packed agenda today. Our first presenter is going to be from our strategic operations team. We have Quan Tran, and he will be demonstrating the dashboards we have for our new WIG, which we mentioned last month are those level 3 and up programs with and without CCAP fiscal agreements. And there you go, Quan.
Thanks, Monica. All right, so again, this is Quan Tran. Good afternoon, everyone. All right, so the good folks over at the Office of Early Childhood Quality Initiative Unit expressed the need for a way to be able to manage toward the new WIG goal in a way that is collaborative and also in a way that has better access and more frequency of data for everyone involved also. So in response to that, we developed this product. It's essentially a Google Sheets document that incorporates some dashboards and some data that's already out there that we share through Colorado Information Marketplace. But what we did here was we just developed a product out of that just so that it would help support the group of you guys and also the CCQI unit here to manage toward the goal. So what we have here, and this link to this product will be shared soon afterward. But what you see here are the 3 tabs on the bottom. Essentially has information that shows the measure by 3 different levels. One is state level, and then you have ECC level, and then the information by provider level. So here at the state level, which is the first tab, you can move over and you can see the dashboard. This is is very similar to what we present at our monthly CSTAT meeting. What's different here is that you see the information reported every 2 weeks for each month. So you have a little bit more detailed information here, see the performance and how it's going in relation to the goals that we present here. These are fed in by the data that table on the you see on the left side, and they're essentially pivot tables fed through the raw information that is on the 3rd tab on the bottom.
Excuse me, we are hearing a lot of background noise. If you could all mute yourselves, please. Thank you.
All right, so again, let's take a look at what this shows. All right, so a reminder of what the new state fiscal year WIG goal is, the wildly important goal is we're measuring all the programs in the state that have met at least level 3 in Colorado Shines, and looking through the universe of the QRS eligible programs, and hoping to get to 23.1% by the end of December. And also the second goal is by end of June of 2019, which is a misprint here. We have 2018 to be 23.5%. We're currently what's being reported monthly is 22.9%, which is 22.88% right here. The data point that you see, the latest one, 22.82%, is for your eyes only, to help manage yourselves, to hopefully understand a little bit more of what's going on in between what we typically report. All right, so let's move on to the ECC tab. Here we see a breakdown of that information by ECCs here through time. And this, what you see on this screen right here, is typically what we present on CSAT, which are the 10 quote-unquote big ECCs, and then the remainder, which is the balance of ECCs. And again, we report this in this dashboard every 2 weeks. If you scroll down a little bit more, you'll be able to find that same information, but expanded for all ECCs here.
And we'll share this link with everyone first thing next week, and then we'll be sending it out just as a reminder with our weekly communication. And it is live, right, Juan?
Yes, it is. It's something that was expressed as a need was to have information out faster. So with every update that we provide with it every 2 weeks, you guys should be able to see what we see also. Sign up for notifications, yeah.
And I recommend y'all, if you just make the link one of your favorites on your, or bookmark it in your Google Chrome, and that way if you want to be able to access it, it'll always be there.
And it is set up as read-only, so you can poke around, mess with it, look into it. You can't mess up the data.
Yep, and for any of the users that we share this link to, you can do your own filtering. It allows you to be able to, if you want to go into the raw sheet on the bottom, if you're interested in just information from your ECC, then you can do the filtering for your own view, meaning that it won't mess up anybody else's spreadsheet view. It'll be for your own purpose only. So it allows that. And we were tinkering about whether or not to be able to provide the ability or functionality to be able to add comments and such. So we'll continue to discuss that. All right, so to mention.
And we're eventually going to incorporate some of the data from sugar, right, Juan, into this?
Yes.
Yep. So go ahead.
The future updates, we also hope to have incorporate some information from sugar and also Salesforce. So
everyone's been asking for a report with the Colorado Science QI MOU date. We would also have that available so you can track that 18 months along with the spending. So you will be able to see a certain program, their license number, their quality level, whether or not they've submitted for a level, where they are on the 18-month timeline, and perhaps how much quality materials they've purchased and how many coaching hours they've received. And then along with their assessment and where they might fall on that rating scale.
So we have a question. Is this the same report that is being shared with counties? I'm not sure if I'm understanding the question, but I think you're referring to the bi-monthly report that's released. And no, this is different. This is specifically related to our CSAT goal of increasing. It's a subset, basically, of that report.
But this dashboard's brand new, created for this purpose.
That's correct. And also what this has inherent in its full data table is time series of information. So what is shared but with the bi-monthly report, that only shows a point in time, which is the most current information. Here, it also includes that in addition to the historic information that's used to develop the dashboards that we see here.
Does anyone have any questions? It's a lot to take in right now, and I know it's hard to see where your council's at when you look at, you put the next one, thanks. When you see this dashboard, but once we send out the link, please review it, look through all of your programs, and if you have questions about specific programs or you think the data is incorrect, let us know.
So the question is this okay to share us with the county? You can share it. I think the reference material that they are using for ratings level is still that report we release bi-monthly. So I think being really clear with what the purpose is of information sharing, which is great, but it's not meant to replace that report that's posted on the chats portal twice a month. And we have someone saying the report looks cool, nice job. So good job.
Good job.
Great. We hope that it becomes valuable for you guys to be able to eventually meet the goal, which we are very confident that you guys will be able to. Again, with the data, go through it. If you guys find any errors, please let us know. It's certainly authoritative data, but we are also understanding that there may be some issues that if you guys find any, please let us know.
Does anyone have any more questions for our data team before they take off?
There's more thanks coming your way.
Thanks, you guys. That was great.
Find any errors. Well, I'm told that if you find any errors, just send it out to Quan Tran, which is me.
And I'll share Quan's email. You can also just send that information to your coordinator, give us a call, and we will pass it along. Thank you guys so much. We will be sending this link out very soon. Okay. Our next presenter is Renee Alarcon. She's the PDIS Service Administrator, and she will be giving us an update on the most recent credential challenges we were having. So welcome, Renee.
Thank you, Monica. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, I'm so excited. I'm thrilled for this day, so I will try not to be too excited on the phone. We already did the champagne. So just a quick update on this, where we're at with things. I'm thinking most of you know this, so I apologize for the repeat information, but the credential functionality in PDIS was enabled on Tuesday, July 24th. Something else to keep in mind, an all credential refresh was also completed on the 24th, and that was done prior to the credential functionality actually being enabled. But we wanted to do that to make sure that everything that was displaying regarding the credential levels is accurate. Let's see. Also, something else I want to make sure everybody is aware of. If information was, if somebody had looked at information 5:15 until the functionality was disabled, there is a chance that the information that was displayed regarding credential levels was inaccurate. So definitely keep that in mind. And that's that time frame of May 15th until June 19th. May 15th is when we discovered the bug. That's when the vendor started working on this, and then June 19th is actually when that was disabled. Also, communications have been sent out to May, June, and July programs. That was also sent out on Tuesday, July 24th. So much thanks to QRIS team for getting those out so timely. Also, the quality rating results for programs that were rated in May, those were released on July 20th. And June rating results are scheduled to be released starting the week of August 13th. I think that is that's the majority of the information that we wanted to update everybody with today. But if things come up, we will definitely let everybody know. As always, PDIS questions, please reach out to the PDIS team. Any QRIS questions, definitely contact QRIS team. And we do just want to thank you guys for your understanding and your patience. I know this was a big one. This had quite the impact to a lot of people. So again, we just really appreciate your understanding while we work to get things right.
If you have any questions regarding this topic, go ahead and type them in the chat box or in the question box, please.
Was a communication sent out to centers specific to PDIS being back up and running?
Yes, not to all centers, to the programs that had been in the rating in May, June, and July.
And then to that point, we have always just kept the banner screen in PDIS, just that top initial piece of it. We've tried to always make sure that has the most accurate current information. So that was updated, notifying people as well that the credential functionality was enabled.
Is the aggregate credential report data correct now?
You'll want to run it after July 24th. So running it after July 24th, it'll be correct.
Thank
you. Yeah, so Jen was saying run it after July 24th.
Any more questions? Okay, we will move along to our next presenter. We have Elizabeth Navarez from the Colorado Shines CCR&R call center. And Elizabeth, I will go ahead and give you the screen. Are you here with us?
Let's see. Hey, Elizabeth, are you able, I don't know if there's a microphone on your computer or if you're able to call in.
Okay, we can see your screen now, Elizabeth. So we
Do you mind calling into the, she's going to call in, I think, you guys. So hold on just a second.
Yeah, that's what's happening. But
We hear you now.
Yeah, and then if you need to mute, go from your in contact. Okay, that works. Hopefully you can hear me.
Yes,
Can you
we
hear me
can.
now?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, Elizabeth. Loud and clear.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. My apologies about that. There was something going on with my headset. All right. Well, hello to you all. I hope everyone is having a great work week. I would like to present a few items. And everyone can see my screen, right? Okay. I'm assuming that's a yes. All right, so I just want to go over a couple of things with you. First off, I have been working with Larimer County creating flyers, and this has been a really great experience. We have been working on creating a flyer that can go out into the public and that reflects, you know, the work that we do and the work that they do. The flyer it's awesome. It has a lot of information about where parents can go to search for childcare. And then this flyer has also been translated to Spanish. So we have a navigator here that did the translation for us, and I'm really happy about that, because that means that people can, you know, can learn about our work, the work that we do here at the call center, and then also the work that Larimer County does, you know, for their community. So this was a really great experience. And by all means, if you are thinking that this is something that might work for your community, let me know. I'll be more than happy to work with you, and we can even do translations for you in Spanish if that's something that you guys want. The next item that I have here is from Mesa County. As some of you may know, Mesa County unfortunately suffered a childcare center closure. I have been working with Lacey to help those families that have been affected by this closure. We have been receiving a few calls from families that are scrambling to find new providers. We're doing our usual. We're going through the intake form in Salesforce and pulling up a list for them that can, you know, that can help them identify their next childcare provider. But one unique thing that we did this time around, and I think it has worked very well. Um, Mesa County, they reached out to providers in the area. They did a massive email blast to all providers in the area asking for availability, whether or not they had spaces available to help those families that are scrambling for childcare. And it has worked pretty well. The providers were actually very responsive. I'm very impressed with the service that the providers do there, and then Mesa County, they have been really, really great. So based on those answers about availability, we were able to update our internal spreadsheet where we keep information about availability. And when parents call in asking about, you know, childcare in this very frustrating time, we're able to identify providers that can help out based on what they have available. So that has been a very, very great experience. Although it is a very frustrating and sad time for parents in that area, it's great that Mesa County and ourselves, we were able to work together to help those families. The next item that I have here is the upcoming school year. So right now we are preparing, we are ramping up for the new school year. We actually have been receiving calls already from parents wanting to find before school and after school childcare, and of course transportation, which of those providers are able to do transportation for their kiddos. We have been doing the usual, and I would also like to poll you and ask you if you have any additional tips on how we can help those families better and how we can identify those transportation providers. Usually what we do, we ask the family where they want to find childcare, where they're searching. If it's home, well, how far is the home from the school? That way we can identify what would be the best step to take. We instruct families that searching childcare as close to the school as possible, that is the best way, as those providers, the possibility that they'll be offering transportation is pretty high. So we like to stay as close as possible to the school. We include in our criteria, we include before and after school care. It is my understanding that the transportation selections, we can't use them yet. They're not functional. We have tried it a couple times, but it doesn't yield results for us, unfortunately. So we have just stick to searching very close to the school, selecting before and after school care, and then coming up with the list of providers. After we have a list, we then work with the family, and we just educate them on what questions to ask, especially because they're looking for transportation. So we try to, make them aware that they need to ask for transportation. They need to learn whether or not that provider offers transportation to that specific school. So far that has been our strategy, but if you have anything new that you can try, by all means, let us know. We would be more than happy to shift the current practices that we have. If you know of new ways to search for those transportation needs or new ways that we can yield better results, by all means, please let us know. You can call me or email me. I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you. The next item that I have in my agenda here is information about our survey. So as you know, every month we survey the families that we served so that we can have a better idea of the service that we are providing. It helps us also to shift our strategies if we need to. So it's a good way to learn about what we have been doing. So this is what we have so far. So for June, we have surveyed 27 families so far. We are 90% completed. And these are a few of the highlights that I have from our June survey. 70% of the families were able to find childcare. The rest of them that were not able to find childcare, I have highlighted here the reasons why. 23% was due to no availability. 8% they chose family, friend, neighbor care. 53%, that's a huge percent, haven't really started searching for childcare yet when we place that call out to them. 50% was other, and when we asked them a little bit more why they chose other, it was because no CCAP or they decided to stay with their current provider. I'm happy to report that 100% of our callers rated the quality of our service as good or excellent. And then 96% of people would recommend our services to a friend or family neighbor. So very good numbers there. I'm very happy with these results. And again, we do this every month so that we can learn more about what services are we providing to the family and is it really working for them. So it's really good data that we are getting. That's pretty much what I have for all of you today. Do you guys have any questions?
There is a question, Elizabeth. It said, would you be willing to share the flyer that was created with Larimer?
I might be able to. It's not a completed, a final version. So let me reach out to Larimer County first to see if they have a completed flyer, and then I'll be more than happy to share that with you.
Thank you so much. Does anyone else have any questions? Oh, and Larimer says that they can provide it as soon as it's ready for print. Thank you,
that's
Larimer.
great.
Any more questions? Go ahead and type them into the chat box or the question box, please. All right, it looks like those are all the questions for now. Elizabeth, thank you so much. That was really insightful, and it just, I think, demonstrates how when the council actually works with the call center, they can do great things when they collaborate. And this data is really helpful to see what a great job your team's doing throughout the state. And then Elizabeth will be on next month and give us this little, share this data with us as well.
Absolutely. Thank you very much to all of you. And again, we love working with you. It's a really great experience. So I'll welcome any ideas that you guys have for me.
Thank you, Elizabeth. We're going to move right along. Our next presenter is Phil Karen from the Denver Early Childhood Council. They have the EC Connect and Sugar contract. I'm sure if you've submitted any support tickets in the last couple months, Phil has probably been the one responding to you. So he's going to demonstrate what that Colorado Shines QI capital improvement application will look like and talk a little bit about the reports that are available in Sugar.
All right, can folks hear me okay?
We can hear
Thumbs
you. Let me make sure we can see your screen.
All righty, let's see here. This one will show this screen here. Okay. So first thing we're going to talk about a little bit here is hardship. Is that okay, Team OEC, that we go through hardship and what that looks like at this point?
Sounds great, Phil.
Cool. So we've got a test account here that I've set up in Sugar, and this is, again, I think this is the one we showed last time, a great spot to be, Phil's place. And if we go to the ratings tab, we see they are currently a level 1 site. We go to QI programs, we see that they have that CCAP fiscal agreement in place. And we can scroll down and see hardship status. This is this new area here in Sugar that will allow the site to apply for hardship funding. So again, you on the council side will fill this part out, and based on your conversations, your on the ground interactions with the site, and say, yep, they are experiencing a hardship. And in fact, it is a natural disaster where we'll say something crazy happened. Obviously, you would type in something a bit more elaborative there, something a bit more detailed to explain what this situation is pertaining to their the details around their hardship that they're facing. Again, these are the categories here. If you feel that there's something that they're experiencing there that's preventing them specifically from attaining that level 2 through their level 2 requirements, you would click other and type in the details on that. At this time, if I were to click save right now, QRIS team, what happens? You guys get an email over there in the Office of Early Childhood saying, hey, Phil's place is experiencing a hardship, and this is the details on it, and OEC will come in and confirm that what they're seeing here does in fact fit the specifications for a hardship preventing the site from reaching a level 2. So they will confirm that. At that point, it's basically the same as regular CSQI. The application for the hardship funding will be available in the Colorado Shines portal. So if the hardship is due to internet connectivity, then the navigator or some council staff may need to work with the site on filling that out on their side rather than having the site fill out the application. But it's, again, pretty straightforward, just a couple questions to confirm that the site is in fact experiencing that hardship and that they will be using the funds toward getting to that level 2 rating. So that's really where we're at with the hardship process. Right now, by looking at the numbers based on our Sugar reports, statewide, there's about 1,000 sites that are at that level 1 with a CCAP fiscal agreement in place. So we're not expecting that many sites to pursue this hardship funding, but that's something that's available to them. Any questions on hardship before we go ahead and look at the capital improvement piece?
No questions yet, Phil. I do just want to remind everyone that they do need to set up the hardship funding stream. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep,
Yeah,
that is
so you're
correct.
going to want to do, just like you set up your Colorado Shines QI funding stream where you put your indirect amount in and your coaching rate, you're going to have to do that for the hardship funding stream as well.
Yep, and thank you for that. These are abbreviated with HSRQIP. This is so that any type of logic that we have already set up for CSQI doesn't get confused when you're trying to call something HCSQI. The specific funding out of here comes from SRQIP, so that's why it's called HSRQIP. our QIP. So you should see in here the funding streams. These are all set up like before, but please go in and just as you did before, let me see here, I'll pick on Denver. Log in, confirm all of the details on here, who the program officer grant lead is for this program, some of those details, application setup, making sure that I wouldn't change anything about the MOU. There's a specific MOU that will be used on this. Again, it's really the same thing as the CSQI. It's just, we're calling this a hardship, and it's specifically for level 1. In the budget summary, you want to make sure some of these details are just the way that they should look per your council operations. And when you're ready to finalize it, you just need to make sure the application is ready for release. On the admin side, you'll want to work with your QRIS coordinator to get that clicked right here so that everything goes the way it should. But as always, if you have any questions in the process of getting this set up, submit a support ticket and we'll get back to you in the next day or two.
We do have a question. It's how will we invoice for hardship programs? We're going to combine that on the Colorado Shines QI invoice. We'll be sending out that workbook next week. It'll be very similar to any Colorado Shines QI materials or coaching where you'll run the sugar report to determine that. And just a reminder, these hardship sites, they can apply until December 31st, and they do have to earn that level 2 within 5 months of signing the MOU in order to get the other 50% of their award amount.
Yep, so the full award amount is the same as they would be eligible for under regular CSQI. They just get that 50% up front. Then they'll use that to get to level 2. Once they're at level 2, congratulations, here's the rest of the award.
We don't have any more questions, Phil, if you want to demonstrate the capital improvement application.
Great, so here I am in EC Connect, and actually you're not going to be able to see that screen, but what I've just done is allowed myself to masquerade as one of our navigators here so I can show you what's going on. To submit a capital improvement, you would simply go to submit a QI, just as you would any other type of QI. And I'll walk you through most of the process, but at some point you'll say, oh, this looks pretty familiar, hopefully. So we'll see how that goes. So we'll say Kids for Real, and we're gonna say CSQI 19. That way you know you're picking the right one. Open new QI request. Let it think for a minute. And here we are. So like you normally would, you will pick your QIP goal category. We'll say learning environment. We'll say request to use other vendor. And all along the way, I think it's anticipated that as the council and the provider, you'll be in communication about what this capital improvement project might be. You'll loop in your QRIS coordinator if you have any nuanced questions about, is this the type of thing that should be a QI, a capital improvement request? You know, they need a new roof over their site or something like that. After you've selected the QI, simply click on capital improvement. And here's all the details for capital improvement. Most likely you'll start off with an initial deposit. You'll want to check off each of these areas. Yep, I have reviewed the 3 bids or more. The program is using the capital improvement project in compliance, etc. And if approved, I will provide that after photo. Yep, and the work's not yet completed. You'll type in some of the information here. You'll notice down here there's a spot to upload your before photo of the site. If I selected something other than initial deposit, there's something for the after photo so that you can upload that after photo. You'll also want to upload the detailed bid and any other documentation that's necessitated here for the capital improvement project. Aside from that, this should look largely familiar to everybody who's submitted a QI request. It's just a little bit more detailed here and specific to the capital improvement components. So that's how you would start that process here. I'm going to click cancel and then show you what one that's been finalized looks like. And now I'm going to go to QIP request history. Learning environment, capital improvement. And here is a finalized capital improvement project from this past year, which you don't have the interface to view all the details in EC Connect, but we can look at it in Sugar. And again, what we're looking at here are all those details, and we see some of the QI Navigator notes. Thank you, Chinazo, for submitting or typing in the date that you typed in these notes. That's always helpful so that we can see, okay, she typed that in here. And we see over here that there were some additional notes, a follow-up note from Chinazo about the proof of purchase and those details. And here's some approval notes that were typed in here. We'll scroll down, we see the details that were submitted here about who to pay the invoice to, and the narrative, the outdoor surface, they needed a new outdoor surface. Down here, we see those before photos. So we can click on this and see for a second what an example before photo looks like. And should be coming up here in a second. So we see the before photo. We don't want our kids playing there. I'm going to look at an after photo that was submitted. Look at that. So wonderful. Thank you, Capital Improvement Program. We also see that the detailed bids were submitted, and I won't download and upload those or show those, but you see there was the turf quote, a few more detail around the bid. The detailed invoice was submitted, as well as proof of payment was submitted. So all of this you'll be able to do through that interface on the capital improvement request that we were looking at before. So that's capital improvement in a nutshell. Again, we're not expecting a whole lot of these improvement projects, but get in touch with your council coordinator, your QRS coordinator, if you have any nuanced questions about do you think this would be eligible? That way you're not just going in and typing in a request for a project before you have all the pieces that you might need lined up. So are there any questions on those?
Phil, was that actually secretly Phil's place?
No, that wasn't. This was actually something that was done this past year, and this is live data, real stuff that happened. That was a capital improvement project. They wanted the space turfed over, and so that was approved.
Do we have any questions?
We do. Are councils responsible for ensuring vendors are in good standing with the Secretary of State? Yes, you are. How do you get the QI funds approved?
Yep, so those QI funds will be submitted on that form that I showed you a second ago, and then those will go to the QRS coordinators for approval.
And Phil, we can send out the links for the to check where the business, to see that the businesses are in good standing. I don't know if there's a way we could also put it in the EC Connect or not.
Yeah, I think that's an option that we should look into is making, I want to go over that form a little bit more and see if we need to add anything like the links to those bids and the Secretary of State just to confirm like, hey, this is a vendor that has not had any issues. They are licensed and bonded, et cetera.
Is there a maximum request for capital improvements? It will be the same $7,500, just like last year. Keep in mind that that has to be for programs serving infants and toddlers.
Has the pool of funding for capital improvements been set? Approximately how many are available? It really depends on how the amount that it costs. You know, like if we're getting all $7,500 ones, then obviously that decreases the numbers. And I can't remember off the top of my head what the pool amount is.
Phil, can you look that up quickly? Do you know, is it around 230-some thousand?
Let me look real quick.
And then when will the form be officially ready for use? We're hoping next week. We just obviously have to finalize a couple things. So
we're going to look everything over and it should be ready for use on the 1st.
Do we have any other questions about the hardship for capital improvements? And we are looking up the budget for the set aside for capital improvements.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through my notes right now
we
on that.
presented on there. It was 2 months ago, roughly $300,000. But we'll follow up with that. And then, oh, go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, I see 185.
185.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Okay, so 185,000. We will be watching the funds. Remember, there's that over $800,000 set aside for hardship. Mm-hmm. So we will be looking into that, those funds, and possibly, if they're not fully spent around December, we might move some of those to capital improvements and open up some more grants. Mm-hmm. And then can we send out the steps for capital improvements for the application? Yes, there will be a help document.
And it is in EC Connect, so I think looking through as well, those fields in EC Connect that you'll need to upload would be good.
And yep, someone wrote in a good reminder. Remember, these programs have to be eligible for Colorado Shines QI, meaning they have a level 2 or higher, and they have a CCAP fiscal agreement, and they've already applied for Colorado Shines QI.
The other thing is they have one more level, and that is they must serve infants and toddlers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're applying for your preschool playground, it's not worth doing that because it will not be approved.
Mm-hmm.
It's mainly because these funds come out of the ITQA budget.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I had heard actually a question the other day, can a site get hardship funding, then get their level 2, and then have a capital improvement project?
Yes.
Yep, okay.
But they cannot get Colorado Shines QI.
Right.
Any other questions? Phil, was that it from you as far as the sugar stuff?
Yeah, I think that's it, unless there are any other questions around reports or other sugar EC Connect.
Just a request for me. Can you show everyone the eligibility report? It was available last year as
Yeah.
well, but this is just for those, so you can see what programs in your council are eligible for Colorado Shines QI. You can also determine that by the list that Quan was showing, but I think this is a little bit easier. So this report's already been created by the sugar team.
Yep, and remember, we're always wanting to look at these shebang reports here that have the hashtag and the exclamation point. So this tells CSQI eligibility. It tells you the CCAP fiscal agreement status for the site, as well as what their Colorado Shines level is. Yeah, and then you can filter by a specific team. Oh, Gunnison Hinsdale.
Oh, well, Phil, they'll see, remember their council's view, they'll just see their council.
They'll only see theirs. Okay, that's good. I forget.
Phil.
I need to pretend to be a council once in a while. So.
Yeah, but if you go to that, the Colorado Shines QI eligibility report, you'll be able to see who in your council is eligible for Colorado Shines QI. The hardship sites will not be here because you will determine that, knowing that they have that level 1 or working on the level 2 and have a hardship.
Any questions? CSQI or other?
Do hardship sites have to take CCAP? Yes.
Okay, well, we're going to move right along for the sake of time and maybe
Great.
get some time back at the end of the webinar. Thank you so much, Phil.
Of course.
Okay, so just a few things. Emily and I just have a few announcements, things that have been coming through the help desk or that councils have been sharing with us. So I'm pretty sure everyone knows what an alternative pathway is. Those are going to be those NACCE accredited programs, the programs that have gone through the school district alternative pathway, Head Start programs. So those programs, say if you are NACCE accredited, we don't know that because they do need to apply in Colorado Shines. It's a simple application. They upload their certificate, and they need to fill out the Colorado Shines application, just saying how many classrooms they have, ages of children, and that type of thing. There is a help document, and I will show everyone where that is. I had it on my screen, it went away.
It's up there. Is it the list that you want?
Oh, well, I do want to show this list too. We had shared this about 2 months ago. So we do monitor the alternative pathways, and we have their expiration date, but some of them, we really don't know. So it is the program's responsibility to follow up and make sure that they are, continuing with the alternative pathway process and uploading their certificates in Colorado Shines. But this spreadsheet here can help you. We'll send the link out again. It's updated regularly. It is live, but I think it would be useful for the council or coaches or whoever in your council is responsible for kind of following up for programs that's rating might expire to check out this list, see who in their region is coming up on expiration, maybe giving them a phone call to see if they need help filling out the documentation on Colorado Shines, or if they're going to let their accreditation lapse, or what their plan is if they're going to go through a rating. Reason being, this could be it really could be detrimental to programs. We had a recent situation where a program was NACE accredited, however, they didn't upload their certificate and they didn't apply in Colorado Shines. So we didn't know. They dropped to a level 1 instead of a 4. This went on for 3 months. They had 90 CCAP children. And it's really up to the county to determine if they're going to back pay the program. And they're not going to. So if you guys want to do the math, they're getting paid for a level 1 instead of a level 4 CCAP reimbursement, 90 children times 3 months. So that's a lot of money. And we've actually seen this happen a few times. The alternative pathway application, it's not really new anymore. It's over a year old. It was part of the enhancements that happened last July. So we're just hoping, want you guys as councils to share the message with programs that they need, if they are on alternative pathway, they do need to update their information in Colorado Shines and just click submit. That process, it's real quick. It's like the level 2 process. It's the desk audit, can take up to 2 weeks.
The other thing is when those ratings drop, the parent fees go up. So not only did the program lose the tiered reimbursement, the parents also then had to pay more for care. So the county did the right thing in this situation. When they saw that, they called our help desk and we said, yep, we haven't received any information, so you got to drop it. Because they were going off the spreadsheet that showed that they dropped to that level 1. So it has pretty serious consequences for providers and families when these drop, especially if they don't need to.
So what I'm going to show you right now is, and hopefully everyone's aware of this tab, and this is on just if you're a program and you're on your program portal, there is this help tab right here. And one of the documents is I need help completing my alternative pathway application. This is a very useful PDF, and it will walk a provider through the process. This has been here for about a year, so it isn't new, but sometimes we forget what help documents are available. And I just wanted to remind everyone that this is here, remind your coaches, remind your QI navigators. And it's available, it should be available to everyone as long as they have a Colorado Shines program portal. Does anyone have questions about alternative pathways?
And we will send out the link, and I highly recommend this is another one that you bookmark or make sure that your QI manager or your QI navigators, whoever's supporting programs, to not let their ratings expire, that they check this. It's similar to the spreadsheet that Quan presented. You can filter it. So, and so the programs are also getting notifications. So we just wanted to remind you of the resource out there for you.
Do we have any questions, Emily?
It was just asking for the spreadsheet. Let me see if there's another one.
Yeah, we'll send out the link for the spreadsheet again, and it is a Google Doc, so we update it. Just another announcement. We have had a few councils contact us about the Colorado Shines QI Awards because of a syncing issue with the classrooms. So do verify that the when programs in your council are awarded, that the award amounts are correct. It's $2,100 for a family child care home. If you have 3 classrooms or less, it's $2,800. And if you have 4 more classrooms, it's $3,500. There's a few one-offs that haven't been granted the correct amount. So just submit a support ticket and let your coordinator know. And we are working on fixing this issue.
It's mostly likely to impact those smaller centers that have 3 or less classrooms. So make sure that those award amounts are correct. And if you, like Monica said, if you see it, just let us know. We're working to fix the issue with our partner, Phil.
And all invoices will be sent out next week for your systems building, your Colorado Shines QI base funding, and then for Colorado Shines GAE funds. which will be combined with hardship and capital improvements. You'll have a workbook for that. We did have Larimer actually, which thank you guys so much, Bev and Lisa, for reaching out to us this morning. They wanted us to mention that, and I'll say it and then I'll have Emily say it again because it's kind of hard to get the point across. But basically we had questions about programs that are a level 2 and sign the Colorado Shines QI MOU. And they submit for a level 3 through 5 rating before and during that time their level 2 drops before they're actually rated level 3 through 5. So they cannot drop is the answer. They need to make sure they maintain that level 2. So they might have to submit for a level 3 through 5 rating, wait till the assessors come out, and in the meantime they might need to apply for a level 2 because they need to maintain the workforce and the professional development. Does anyone have questions about that?
Let's give them just a second.
Okay. Or any questions about anything else? All right, we'll give you guys about 30 seconds to type in any more questions you may have. If not, we have our monthly calls, email your coordinator, email the help desk, and we'll get back to you. All right, thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your week. We will be following up with an email with the recording and all the documents we've presented today.
Thanks, everybody, for getting on the call today.
We appreciate you.